Good morning, and we are delighted to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the second Education, Science and Technology International Conference 2021, presented by Fakultas Tarbiyah and Keguruan Ar-Raniry, BANDA, Aceh, Indonesia. Your Excellencies, Rector of Ar-Raniry, BANDA, Aceh, today represented by First Rector Mr. Gunawan Ahmad Adnan, PhD, Your Excellencies, Dr. Muslim Razali, SHMAD, Dean of Fakultas Tarbiyah and Keguruan Ar-Raniry, and his representative. At the moment already present our honorable speaker, Professor Dr. Muhammad Fauzanuddin from IIM Malaysia, Profesor Ojat Darujat Embas, PhD from Universitas Terbuka Indonesia, Profesor Aslam Hussein MA, PhD from Ar-Raniry, Associate Professor Dr. Chok Chayun Yong from Kon University, Thailand, Associate Professor Dr. Roslinawati Muhammad Roslan from University Brunei Darussalam. The respective official of Universitas Islam Negeri Ar-Raniry, BANDA, Aceh, the distinguished guests, delegates, and participants of this international conference, ladies and gentlemen. ESTETIC 2021 is the second international conference presented by Fakultas Tarbiyah and Keguruan Ar-Raniry, BANDA, Aceh. For this year, the conference will be focused on the transformation of education, science and technology, and its impact toward character building in era 5.0. To begin with the opening ceremony, we will start with listening the Quran recitation presented by Magdalena Isam, student of Pendidikan Bahasa Arab Ar-Raniry, BANDA, Aceh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قيل لكم تفسحوا في المجالس إذا قيل لكم تفسحوا في المجالس فافسحوا يفسح الله لكم. وإذا قيل انشزوا فانشزوا يرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم
diverse.
يرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجات يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا ناجيتم الرسول فقدموا بين يدي نجواكم صدقة ذلك خير لكم وأطهر فإن لم تجدوا فإن الله غفور رحيم. فإن لم تجدوا فإن الله غفور رحيم. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Now we are going to listen to Salawat Prayer and followed by National Anthem.
Salatullah, salamullah ala Taha Rasulillah. Salatullah, salamullah ala Yasin Habibillah. Salatullah, salamullah ala Taha Rasulillah. Salatullah, salamullah ala Yasin Habibillah. توسلنا ببسم الله وبالحادي رسول الله وكل مجاهد لله بأهل البدر يا الله. توسلنا ببسم الله وبالحادي رسول الله وكل مجاهد لله بأهل البدر يا الله. أهل البدر يا الله إلهي سالم الأمة من الآفات والنقمة ومن حم
Selanjutnya dilanjutkan dengan lagu Indonesia. The next agenda, a brief report regarding the activity that will be presented by Mr. Ar-Raniry.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, salatan wa salaman ala nabiyyil rijal samsul duha Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ah. Honorable to Chancellor of Ar-Raniry, who is represented by Vice Chancellor, by Vice Chancellor of Academic and Institutional Affairs, Associated Professor Gunawan Adnan PhD, Honorable to Dean of Faculty Dr. Muslim Razali, Vice Dean for Academic and Institutional Affairs Dr. M. Khalis, invited speaker Professor Muhammad Fauzan Nurdin from Malaysia, Professor Ajad Rajat bin Bash PhD from Indonesia, Professor Asna Hussein MA from US, Associated Professor Dr. Chok Chai Yuen Yong from Thailand, Associated Professor Roslaini Muhammad Ruslan from Brunei Darussalam, team of ESTETIC 2021, and all participants. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second Education, Science and Technology International Conference, organized by Faculty of Teacher Training and Education of Ar-Raniry. I am very pleased to be here today as this my opportunity to speak virtually to all participants of this conference in order to inform the conference report through my speech. Before that, as we know, this year is not easy for us to survive during COVID pandemic, but yours today present prove that you are getting stronger not only to work but also to study every time. The thing which we should be very grateful for this improvement of technology that is very helpful to maintain our daily activities. including the lecture and other meetings. That is why we initiate to provide the International Conference of Aesthetics with the theme Transformation of Science and Technology in Character Building towards Society 5.0. Well, this conference invites 5 speakers from overseas who will share their findings or lecture regarding the conference theme. So we hope all participants who come from several regions are able to apply and combine their knowledge to what they receive and discuss today. It is important to note that this conference will be held for 2 days, where day 1 is special for lecture by invited speaker, and day 2, which is tomorrow, for panel discussion between presenters. Last but not least, thank for the support of the aesthetic team. I realized that this outlook is very positive. Therefore, I hope all of you enjoy the conference. Thank you. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Now we are going to listen to the
Bentar ya, lagi seminar ya. Untuk pembalik, ya, nanti pembalik.
Ar-Raniry BANDA Aceh, Associate Professor Gunawan Ahmad, PhD, who will also be officially opening the conference today.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'dihi wa na'udzu bihi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan 'abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Wa qala Allah ta'ala fil Qur'anil Karim wa asdaqul qailin. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ma'syaral jinni wal ins in istata'tum an tanfudhu min aqtaris samawati wal ard fanfudhu la tanfudhuna illa bisultan fa bi ayyi ala'i rabbikuma tukadziban. The honorable speakers, the respected officials of the State Islamic University of Ar-Raniry or UIN Ar-Raniry BANDA Aceh, the distinguished guests, delegates and participants of this international conference, ladies and gentlemen, guten Morgen, bonjour, good morning, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am very happy and very pleased today to be here with you all to represent our respected Rector Professor Dr. Walidin EKMA to deliver my keynote speech and also to officially open this wonderful and important conference of today. This is the second of a new series of academic conference exploring how science and technology could be effectively utilized in teaching, learning, and character building towards society 5.0. Currently, UIN Ar-Raniry is improving to become one of the world-class universities in Indonesia, and in recent years has been proactively involved in various international events, either through collaboration programs or conferences, as is currently taking place. I mean the conference of today. I am delighted to see that UIN Ar-Raniry, in collaboration with IIUM Malaysia, Konkan University, University of Brunei Darussalam, and Universitas Terbuka Indonesia or Open University of Indonesia have organized a conference that capitalized on our strengths and has built on our common commitment to promoting the effective use of sciences and technology in diverse modes of education to build a good character for our graduates. The conference adopts a timely theme, transformation of science and technology in character building towards Society 5.0. Science and technology have penetrated into virtually all areas of operations of education and entwined with educational practices. To effectively benefit from science technology applications, it is, of course, essential that education professionals set themselves ready for transforming their practices and keep identifying effective ways for transformations in their context. Moreover, we have to state that good character is important for success in our life because it determines how well you can achieve your goals, whether others want to deal with you, and how well you fit in your groups. When you work hard and are determined to achieve your goals, you can become more successful and confident in what you do. When you deal with other people fairly and honestly and show consideration for them, they will want to deal with you and even help you achieve your goals. By following the laws and rules of society, your culture, or even the local wisdom and your organization, you will fit in and be accepted. If you take a look at the conference program, you will agree that this conference is going to be busy with productive. There is a lot of offer for a two-day event. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the conference organizing committee for their diligent works and for their cooperative work as well. I would also like to thank participants, especially those of you coming from abroad, for joining us and sharing your valuable experience and ideas. It is essential to bring together experts in the field of science and technology in education so that we can realize together the potential of technology for education. I hope that all of you will enjoy the conference, and I do hope and I do expect this corona pandemic will end soon. So next opportunity, all of the speakers and participants and all of you can meet directly in the beautiful city of Banda Aceh, Indonesia. Last but not least, or moreover, I will also state it here, that technology is not everything. Even though we do agree that technology is important in our life, but it is not everything. It is a supporting element that might support human activities. Furthermore, technology is not our final destination or goal. Our supreme goal is Allah's ridha. By being, for instance, or among others, one of the most beneficial, meaningful person to others, as our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has already stated in his Muslim tradition or hadith, khairun nas anfa'uhum linnas. In this special time, on behalf of Bapak Rektor atau His Excellencies, I would officially open the conference by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and by also wishing or expecting God's ridha or Allah Taufiq Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan, for the speech. Now, for the last agenda for the opening ceremony today, we'll be closing with the reciting of dua presented by BANDA.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
نعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. اللهم إنك عفو كريم حليم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا. ولجميع المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أحينا بالإيمان ومتنا بالإيمان واحشرنا بالإيمان وادخلنا الجنة مع الإيمان. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعوة لا يستجاب لها. اللهم ادفع عنا الغلاء والبلاء والوباء والفحشاء والمنكر والصيف المختلفة والشدائد والمحن ما ظهر منها وما بطن من بلدنا هذا خاصة ومن بلدان المسلمين عامة إنك على كل شيء قدير. ربنا أنت ولينا في الدنيا والآخرة توفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.
ورحمة الله وبركاته. من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Salam. Alif.
Thank you, Moderator.
Yeah.
As a new culture in virtual working we will now hold a photo session. For those who want to
lagi
be
yuk.
make sure that you turn on your camera and keep smiling for just a couple of seconds until we took all the picture. So I'll count to 3, then all of you can just turn on your camera and then we will take picture all together.
Okay, let's do it.
For those who want to be in the frame. Just keep smiling for a couple of seconds and then someone will take a picture.
Sony. Mau nama atau Perancis
We're
nama?
gonna
Saya
have to
Jerman.
wait for a couple of
Saya
seconds.
kurang menuju
Hakim kat sana.
inti yang
Kat sana Hakim.
teknologi yang lupa daripada Allahnya.
Pasang lagi pasang put
Hah?
pasang dia.
Nah Kak Asma ini. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you all. Before we officially close, so for your information, make sure to check on the message section, for those who just joined right now, where you can find the Google form for attendance and certificates will be shared after the first session later. I mean now, but in 10 minutes or 20 minutes, someone will share the Google form for the attendance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now continuing our meeting to the next agenda. We have the keynote speaker already presented here. So the keynote speech will be divided into 2 sessions. The first session will be delivered by Professor Dr. Muhammad Fauzan Nurdin from IIM Malaysia, Professor Roger Darajat, MBAS PhD from Universitas Terbuka Indonesia, Associate Professor Dr. Chokchai Yong from Khon Kaen University, Thailand. And the first session will be led by Mr. Dr. Phil Saiful Akmal from UIN Ar-Raniry, Banda Aceh. While the second session, which will be done around 1 or 2 o'clock later on, will be delivered by Prof. Asna Husin, MA PhD from UIN Ar-Raniry, and Associate Professor Dr. Rosli Nawati Muhammad Roslan from University Brunei Darussalam. The second session will be led by Ms. Rizda Neva MA, PhD candidate from Deakin University, Australia. I think that will be all for the opening ceremony today. I would like to thank you all for your participation, and we will see you in a couple of minutes, and I will virtually hand over the microphone to Mr. Saiful Akmal. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Udah jangan ya.
Ini nih HP yang nonton balik.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Before we start, let's make a check sound first. Wishing all the connection is stable, and we would like to also have a check first to the all invited speakers. Professor Muhammad Fauzan Nurdin is already connected. Oh, safe and sound, Prof. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes, and hear you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Then the second invited speaker, we would like to have a check as well. Professor Ojat Darojat, apa kabar Bapak? How are you?
Fine, thank you very much. I'm okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, right. Thank you. And the last one from Thailand. So Associate Professor Dr. Chokchai is already connected or not? Hello, Dr. Chokchai Yuen Yong, are you already connected? Okay. Let's hope that all the connection is stable. Then we do hope that during the first session there will be no technical problems. And let us start officially now. So I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh again for all the participant, invited speakers, and also the leaders of Ar-Raniry.
Apa di mana itu dah klik?
Thank you very much. First of all, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, all praises are due to Allah, who have given us this opportunity to meet in this online conference, ESTETIC, the second ESTETIC organized by the Faculty of Tarbiyah, UIN Ar-Raniry. Then we would also like to extend our best wishes to our rector, the respected Professor Dr. Warul Walidin AKMA, and also all the leaders, Vice Chancellor 1, Associate Professor Gunawan Adnan PhD, for being with us today. Thank you very much. And all the leaders of the Dean, the Deputy Dean 1, 2, and 3, who have made this conference possible for the second time. Thank you very much. And we would also like to extend our thanks to all organizers, the organizing committee and the steering committee of the second aesthetic conference, second is aesthetic international conference, especially Mr. Muammar and colleagues who have been working very hard since the last 1 or 2 months for making this international conference happen. Before we start, allow me to first introduce myself. My name is Saiful Akmal. I am from the Department of English Language Education of Tarbiyah Faculty, and I was assigned to lead this first session. Then we will have a very interesting topics to be discussed now, and we already have the opportunity to meet and greet and hear important keynote speakers from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand respectively. And I would like to read the first keynote speaker short autobiography. Our first keynote speaker is Professor Dr. Muhammad Fauzan bin Nurdin. He is a professor at IIUM Gombak campus from the Kuliah of Information and Communication Technology. He received his PhD from the University of Wales in the UK in 1997, MBA from Central Missouri State University, USA in 1991, and BSc in Computer Science from University of Missouri, Kansas City, USA in 1989. He is now a professor in knowledge technology at the Kuliah of Information and Communication Technology. He has published several books and journals and articles, and especially one of the most famous one is his book on ICT and Islam has been adopted as a textbook at several universities worldwide. Within just over a decade, he is now actually the head of ICT and Islam Research Cluster. He was the dean for the Center for Postgraduate Studies, International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, visiting scholar at the University of Bahrain between 2004 and 2005, and Jasan University in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia between 2010 and 2011. He managed to secure some research grants as well, especially from the Ministry of Science and Technology since 2005. He's also a panel member for the National Dawah Policy of Malaysia and a senior fellow at the International Institute of Islamic Thought, IIIT. So it's a very distinguished career for Professor Muhammad Fauzan Nurdin. And without further delay, we would like to welcome Professor Muhammad Fauzan bin Nurdin, and time and place is your Professor. Please take your time for about from now on to 10:40.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah. All praise to Allah SWT. Thank you, Brother Saiful. May I share my screen, Panitia or Secretary?
Yes, of course.
I cannot share right now.
Yes. Please.
No, I cannot host disable participant screen sharing. So maybe you
right.
will me as a co-host, then I can share.
You can try now,
Right.
Professor.
Okay, Bismillah.
Is it on already?
Yeah, it's possible now. Okay. Can
I
you
think
see
it's
my
working,
screen?
Professor.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Uh,
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, my topic today, I think the theme for ESTETIC is transformation of science and technology in character building towards society 5.0. Society 5.0, of course, our character building as a Muslim, we know is Husnul Khuluq, and science and technology is straight to the point, is science as SNT. And society 5.0 is coined by Japanese, but I prefer to call wisdom society. Okay. And this is my background. I think you've introduced generously. Thank you very much. Okay, I will start with this surah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. This surah, verse ayat 190 from Surah Al-Imran, is clearly Allah combined the science and technology with the character building and the end result. Normally people, especially when talking about IR 4.0 or the society 5.0, they forget about the end result. What is the end result? But here is normally the Mufassirin will translate this into the scientist, the researcher. They're looking at the heaven and earth, and in alternation day and night, samawati wal ard waqtilafil laili wan nahar, so night and day, and indeed they are sign of man of understanding. Man of understanding, or ulu albab, is the researcher, the scientist, the academia, and the knowledge workers, and I prefer to call wisdom workers. And this surah continue with this ayah. Who are those people? Those who remember Allah, always in prayers. Remember here, an early traditional way, they said remember like zikrullah. Yes, one of them. But zikrullah is one of them, but also do a research, scientific research, doing the research development, innovation is part of them. Remember Allah SWT. Always in the prayers, standing, while we are standing, while we are sitting, while we are lying down, meaning that 24 times 7. Mufassirin defined 24 times 7. Think deeply about the creation of heaven and earth, and they made dua, our Lord, you have not created all this without purpose. Glory to you, exalted be you above all that they said you as a partners. This is the one we want to, we don't want to be associated with Allah SWT with someone else. And finally, this is the final objective that we always forget, that Fakina azabannar, save us, give us salvation of the hellfire. This is the ultimate objective. And I will end this presentation later, not now, later, with another surah, Surah An-Naml, where what is the purpose of science technology? So the purpose of science technology is to save us from hellfire. So I want you to, this one of your takeaway. Okay. And I want to quote this T.S. Eliot. He said, this is way back 1965 or 1980s, 18th century. Where is the knowledge? We have lost information. Where is the wisdom? We have lost in knowledge. So I want to emphasize, we in Islam, we call hikmah for wisdom. In order to get hikmah, we have to have hidayah from Allah SWT. Now this is what happening. This is last year, where even the President of the United States lying, 20,000 false or misleading claims. This reported in Washington Post. Then there is the dead professor and vast disinformation campaign by the social media through 365 pro-Indian websites operating across 65 countries by the Syria Vastava group to influence United Nations, European Parliament, just by fake news. And this is the chart I have, and this is another example where Prince William, but the people viral, but actually he did it. He showed 3 fingers. So one finger mean different thing, 3 fingers mean different things. Okay, now I would like you to download this book. This is available, published by IIIT. I'm also a director of IIIT East and Southeast Asia. We publish Muslim Societies Post-Normal Time by Prof. Ziadun Sada, Jordi Sierra, and Scott Jordan, is free of charge. So for sake of academic and research, you can download this book. So in this book, they said that social media can connect East and West, North and South through multiple platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Zoom, Twitter, and so on. But bring people together, but at the same time divide and fragment them simultaneously. Now, we added with AI or artificial intelligence, this become more complicated and sophisticated. And even Stephen Hawking declared that humanity was entering increasing dangerous period of our history. And in this book, they remind us issues of social justice, income disparity, unemployment environment, technological and cultural disruption are perhaps more acute and urgent in the Muslim world and also Muslim societies. Okay, this is what happening in the world. We have 7.85 billion total population, and we have 56% live in urban area. Okay, what they are doing, all these 60% internet users and 55% are active social media. And what in the active social media they do in data from April 2021, most of them, 49%, almost 50%, staying in touch, friends and family, feeling a spare time, reading news stories and so on. But we worried about they are wasting time using social media. Now, you see here, Indonesia number 8 used to be Indonesia lead us, the Malaysia, but Malaysia now number 6. This is not something we have to be proud of. Something we have to think about it. Philippines number 1, 10 hours 56 minutes they spend per day on internet. But you look at the advanced country like Japan only spend 4 hours. Denmark 5 hours 16 minutes. China 5 hours 22 minutes. Germany 5 hours 26 minutes. Netherlands 5 hours 28 minutes. Belgium, South Korea 5 hours 37 minutes. France, Switzerland, Australia. But we Malaysia 9 hours and 17 minutes, and Indonesia 8 hours 52 minutes. Indonesia used to be more than 9 hours. Okay, so we have to think, is it good or is it bad? Okay. Then this is Indonesian's statistic, where you have 170 million and 99% active in the social media using mobile phone. Okay, and the active social media is 61.8. This one using mobile is 99. The using the social media 61.8. Malaysia 99.4. I think I just skipped this data. Now Indonesia, what you spent to compare the statistic previously, the world. Stay in touch with friends and family, but Indonesia use social media for YouTube 93.8%, WhatsApp 87.7%, Instagram 85.6%, Facebook 85.5%, Twitter 63%, and all these are social media. Malaysia again, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, not bad. Almost the same. We are maybe the same culture, but something we have to ponder. My master student did a research that really the social media used for sake of knowledge, and they're more for sake of entertainment, like here YouTube. Okay, okay, now science and technology. We have the great civilization. I want to go a little bit fast. How long is my presentation? Going to end 20 minutes from now, Mr. Moderator? Okay. Science and technology, please stop me when you remind me for 10 minutes before the due time. Science and technology scholars Abbas Ibn Firnas invented the flying machine. Yunus Al-Masri, Ibn Haytham, the optics. Then Jabbar Ibn Hayyan for chemistry, Al-Khwarizmi for algorithm, and Jabbar Algebra. Khwarizmi come up with the term algorithm. Ibn Sina, Ibn Zuhur. And even the California used to be CEO Hewlett Packard and also a presidential candidate of Republican. He said the one who invented algebra algorithm that responsible for building computers are the Muslim scientists and Muslim mathematician. Okay, this is the quotation. I want to go skip because I have 61 slide. And they said the technology industry would not exist without contribution of Arab, I add here, Muslim mathematician. Okay, this is society 5.0. Normally they will use the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, and they have a 17 goal, but our universities, IUM, at the number 18, where our writers, Professor Emeritus Dr. Zulkifli said, a new SDG, number 18, spirituality and spiritual knowledge. Because those 17 goals by United Nations, they are forget the most important element, yakni spiritual, yakni ruhiyah. Our writer said could be envisaged to complement the current framework in order to better realize learning to become. This will promote education and sustainable development within context IUM and the Ummah and the whole world, and also Malaysia, where the nexus of people, planet, prosperity, and peace is deemed critical. Okay, now, this is what Japan did for Society 5.0. Okay. Current society, a variety of constraints exist with respect to social problems such as aging society, regional depopulation, making a sufficient response difficult. So this is what happened in Japan. They have problem with aging society. So what they did, social issues will be overcome and human will be liberated from various type of constraints. This is what they want to solve. People do large amount of work, their abilities have limitation, and the behavior of the physical challenge is constrained. So the solution, the possibilities of upon to human will expand through use of robot, automatic driving cars, and so on. Now we have the drone to deliver, use Grab in Malaysia, in Indonesia, Gojek. And really, with an overflow of information, the work of finding, analyzing information desired is difficult and burdensome. Not just difficult, burdensome, but so fake news, true news or fake news. So all will free human from burdensome, from analyzing human amount of information. The machine will do that. So my comment on that, the machine will do it the right things or not. So for me, we need knowledge and wisdom. Then knowledge and information are not shared and cross-value, cross-sector value in difficult to create. So IoT, now we just not Internet of Things, but Internet of Everything will connect all people and think also knowledge, information will be shared and totally new value will be born. I will say not just knowledge you want to share, but we want to share the wisdom, hikmah. We have to share the hidayah from Allah SWT, and the hidayah is from Allah SWT. Now, I want to quote the social dilemma. The West create the social media. Now they're worried about social media. They call it social dilemma. And this is Tristan Harris, one of the leader in you can go to the YouTube and you search for social dilemma. He said that this, I want to quote this, this is a long quotation here. If something is tool, is genuinely just sitting there, waiting patiently. If something is not tool, tools demanding things from you, is seducing you, is manipulating you, is one thing from you. So here is manipulate, addition, is no longer neutral technology, and is use our psychology. And he quote that MIT studies stated that fake news travels 6 times faster than true news. Okay. And here he said that social media start to dig deeper and deeper down to the brain, especially the young generation and the young new kids. Okay. Okay, this is Jaron Lender. They call him as a father of virtual reality. He said when two person communicate in the virtual world, the third person is the one who make money, the one who paying to manipulate. It reminds me the hadith by Rasulullah SAW. If two person khalwa or sitting we call it privately, the third person is shaitan. So those are shaitan and social media playing the mischievous and manipulate the two person here. Okay, this is I skip this, and this I want to quote this Justin Rosenstein, the former engineer of Facebook and Google. He said when they created the jempol or the good like button, they want to spread the positivity and love in the world. Unfortunately, the teenagers and those people using those social media did not get enough of those face jempol or like. So they are depressed, okay? And okay, and in this quotation, they said people do not understand how the algorithm work, and they said because the controlling information that we see is more than we controlling them. The algorithm are controlling us. So even the managers of Facebook and Uber said that. Sandy Pericles. Okay, this is something that I want you to aware that the professor and the Lambert from Stanford University said social media is a drug. And I want to quote this book. I think if you can access this book, Glow Kids. And this book, Professor Kadara said from, he's a neuroscientist of United States, California. He said that now we are in the digital drug. And this book stated that surgeon in United States did not use morphine to do the operation for the experiment. They use games, e-sport, and this patient did not realize they've been operated. So how powerful the e-sport or digital drug? Okay, I think I want come to the Islamic philosophy. This is the first ayah that revealed to Rasulullah SAW. Already talk about technology. Okay. And A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iqra bismi rabbikal ladzi khalaq. Khalaqal insana min 'alaq. Iqra wa rabbukal akram alladzi 'allama bil qalam. 'Allamal insana ma lam ya'lam. Now, I want to emphasize on two things. Iqra is knowledge. Yani to read, to become knowledgeable. It becomes science and technology. Even Konji blood for me is DNA computing. And what we use is kalam. Kalam to write, to store and share knowledge. Now what is the technology to write, store and share knowledge? It can be a mobile phone, can be a smartphone, can be anything to write to write and to store and share knowledge is a kalam technology. Okay, this is I want to emphasize the keyword here. Iqra, read, but Allah remind us man feel transgresses because he feels self-sufficient. But Allah remind us the servant should pray, should enjoy the righteousness. Then Allah remind us those who are lying. Then Allah will drag by the forelock for those are lying. And finally, Allah asks us to prostrate and near to Allah SWT. Muqarrabin, sujud. Here I want to say that this is a transformation of Scientology into the husnul khuluq or character building. Read using kalam, science and technology, and using Scientology, and be aware that you don't have to feel that you are self-sufficient. You have to know that you have to pray, and for me, you have to use kalam to pray, and you to assist you, and you be careful about those are lying, and be careful and please prostrate, sujud, and make us closer to Allah Ta'ala. And this kalam, science technology can make us closer to Allah SWT. And this is also in the Surah Al-Qalam, you are great moral character. Here also stated by the pen, known by the pen what this inscribed. So science technology, kalam technology, and great moral character. Allah pair together. And this the hadis in Tafsir Ibn Katsir, hadis Surah Al-Qalam. In this hadith, Allah SWT said, this Prophet Muhammad said, that Prophet Muhammad said, Inna awal ma khalaqallah al-qalam, faqala lahu uktub, qala ya Rabb ma uktub, qala uktub al-qadar wa ma huwa kana ila al-abad. So this hadith saying that the first creation that Allah created is qalam. For me, is a technology that should this technology is very important for the humankind. And I want to introduce that normally people know the ICT is a hardware and software, but I want to introduce another element is people where the most important element is the hardware, qalbun salim. And this hadith where Rasulullah said, if this part of it is good, the whole body is good, but if this part of body is bad, the whole body is bad. And this by Thompson said, we are moving from data, we process data, become information, the information has value, become knowledge, the highest knowledge is wisdom. And he said, those who have wisdom, compassion. But another character is merciful. And then I want to emphasize that who is the most merciful and most compassionate is Allah SWT. Actually, when newborn baby is like a data, then we grow up and finally we want to closer to Allah SWT is the most merciful, most compassionate. So the idea is the husnul qulub or the character building that you want to establish is the have more compassion, more merciful. But we cannot be the most because the most is Allah SWT. The next to Allah SWT is Rasulullah SAW. Okay, this is the technology that Allah SWT, Rasulullah SAW repeat. Then he the one that come up with telecommunication. He create repeater, transmitter, receiver, and repeater. Okay, this biometric, another science technology. This storage that I'm talking about, Suratul Yasin, where Allah will seal your mouth, but your hand, will become your speak on us, and the leg will become, the feet will become testify, the witnesses. And now this technology, this only human technology in the CD-ROM, but in the white form is the 1 gram of DNA. Professor Dr. Lord Resti from North Carolina University stated that this 1 gram can store 145 trillion CDs, equivalent to 163,000 centuries of storage or MP3 or MP4. These are Allah's technologies, mashallah. And this is DNA computing. Allah asks us, who created? It's you or Allah SWT. And this is Surah Al-Rahman, where Allah described exactly perfect, better than NASA. Allah said, when heaven split upon, it's become rose colored like oil. Wadatan Kadihan, but the NASA described as exploding star like cat's eye nebula. Okay, almost done. This is a character building you want to create from IT to knowledge technology. I want to create wisdom technology with wisdom society. I don't want to call 5.0 because this one is from Japanese one. I want to call wisdom society or Madani society according to Al-Farabi. If we don't do anything, we goes down. We want to do like the green color. And the Tristan Harris said their solution is to come up with the, because he said, I think AI system plus overwhelming the AI extractive attention economy become downgrading of human being. And he said, while we are upgrading the mission, we have downgrading the humanity. I remember Pak Nasir, I think the first Prime Minister of Indonesia. Pak Nasir said, when we develop the country, we ruin the humanity. When we develop the technology, we are, what you call it, we downgrading the kemanusiaan. Okay, then my solution to Maqasid Sharia, we are running out of time, we have 3 minutes. Okay, we use the protection of religion, life, akal, nasab, and mal to in ICT in order to build the character building. And for me, science, technology plus Maqasid Sharia become Rahmatil Alamin. And this is the one that Madani society or the society that you want to create, not just 5.0. I don't want to put 5, 3, 6 or whatever. is the Madani society. What Madani society, according to Al-Farabi, we have to promote the truth. We ask ourselves, we promote the truth or fake? We inculcate love of knowledge. We promote entertainment or knowledge. Number 3, we have to achieve happiness according to Sharia. Number 4, we promote amal soleh or good deeds. Okay, this is my hardware is the most important element in character building society, where we have hardware in the middle. People where what we have to follow Allah SWT, of course Al-Quran and Sunnah. Then we can have money in society, maka Sharia, Rahmatul Namal verses 39 and 40. Here, the science technology is more advanced than us. They're using the what we call teleporting. If you watch the film Back to the Future, you can bring back to the future. Now he bring the Balkis throne to the Balkis throne near Yaman. Some Mufassirin said. And Prophet Sulaiman alaihi salam in the Jerusalem or Batu Muqaddis. So Prophet Sulaiman is the king of the king. It's not the king of the human being, but king of the animal, king of the jinn. He asked all the citizens who can bring the throne of Balkis to me. Then the jinn of Ifrit, Qala Ifritu minal jinn. Here Allah Ta'ala said, name the jinn named Ifrit, said, I will bring to thee before thou rise from the council, before Prophet Sulaiman salam stand up. And he said, I full strength and may be trusted. Here, quite interesting. The character of Husnul Qulub, or the character of even jinn, said, I am Qawiyun Amin, Amana, strong and Amana. But here you look at the next surah. Qala alladhi indahu ilmun minal kitab. Here Allah know, I think we know that Allah know his name, but Allah did not mention his name. Allah just said, he said, this person, one who had knowledge of the book, ilmun minal kitab. It can be anybody, but as long ilmun, the beriman, minal kitab. But what this guy can do, or this person can do, he can bring the throne of Balkis a blink of the eyes. So much faster, much better technology than the jinn. The jinn can do that. The Ifrit can do that because he is from DNA from jinn. The jinn has that capability, or her DNA can do that. But human being can beat better, can do better than the jinn or Ifrit because we are ilmun minal kitab. This is the point that I want to emphasize. And finally, Allah will ask to test me whether I'm grateful or ungrateful, syukur or kufur. So our purpose of the technology is to syukur, not to kufur. And Allah reminds us, should be used to syukur, is gratitude to Allah Ta'ala. Allah they don't gain anything, but Allah Ta'ala is for us, for the human being. And this is my final slide. I extra one minute. Sorry, Mr. Moderator. I want to close saying that we are going to wisdom society. Character building is a wisdom society. Yani society, masyarakat berhikmah. Kenapa masyarakat berhikmah? Kerana ada merciful, pengasih dan penyayang. Kalau tidak ada pengasih penyayang, kita macam robot, data society. What is data society? Don't have merciful and compassionate. Tidak ada kasih dan sayang. I want to kill you. Tidak ada. Sebab itu mereka membunuh anak. Sebab itu mereka membuang anak. Mereka menzalimi dan torture, abuse and so on. So we want to establish wisdom society. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Muhammad, for your insightful keynote speech. It is very important for us to make some important notes regarding how the society develops over the time and how spirituality can actually be the 18 SDGs for us in terms of building the community with the so-called character building society and character education. Well worth speech, by the way. Thank you very much. Applause to Professor Muhammad, everyone. And before we have a discussion session at the end of the presentation, now we are going to have the second keynote speaker from Indonesia this time. Our second keynote speaker is Professor Ojat Darojat M. Bas, PhD. Let me first start with some short autobiography of Professor Ojat. Professor Ojat received his PhD from Simon Fraser University in Canada, and he holds M.Bus from La Trobe University, Australia. And at this moment, since 2017, he is elected as director of Indonesian Open University. Previously, he held several positions regarding in his career. The first one in between 2016 and 2017, he was the head of Institute for Development of Teaching Material, Exam and Information System. And from 2014 to 2015, he was the head of Quality Assurance Center. And from 2007 to 2009, he was the director of Indonesian Open University in Bogor. 2003 until 2016, he was the Vice Dean 3 of Teacher Training Faculty at Indonesian Open University. 2001 to 2002, he was the head of Social Science Education Department at the same university. And he started his professional career from 1999 to 1997 as the head of Diploma 2 in Social Science Study Program at Teacher Training Faculty from the same university. So Professor Ojat will talk something related to integrating technology in education and its effects to students' character. So please let us welcome Professor Ojat. And Professor Ojat, time and place is yours until wait a second, until 11:10 or 11:15 or so. So please, I would like to hand the microphone over to Professor Ojat.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Saiful Akmal. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everyone, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzubillahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala hadiyalah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya wa rasulah ba'da amma ba'du. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So before I present my slide regarding transformation of science and technology in character building towards society 5.0, let me first express my gratitude and thank you to the Rector Ar-Raniry, Professor Dr. Warul Walidin, and my special thanks also goes to the Dean of Tarbiyah and Keguruan Fakulty, Mrs. Dr. Muslim Rajali, Mr. Rajali, and thank you for inviting myself to be the keynote speaker in this conference. And thank you as well to other speakers and participants. May I have an opportunity to share my screen? Okay.
Yes, please, Prof. Can you try? Okay, it's there. It's on already.
Okay. Hold on.
Sorry, Prof. Ojat, would you like to setting your sorry, Professor Ojat, would you like to change your setting to be slideshow? We cannot see your presentation as a full slide.
Okay, my session would be focused on integrating technology in educations and its effect to student character. Online learning has been regarded as an important and strategic solutions in Asia, including ASEAN regions during the COVID-19 pandemic. And currently, online learning becoming strategic and important agenda for all higher education institutions, even at all level, including elementary and secondary in Indonesia. In some ASEAN countries, teaching and learning from home has been regarded as emergency solutions. The rapid spread of coronavirus pandemic has significant impact on different sides of our life, including on educations. In Indonesia, for example, the Minister of Education and Culture and the Minister of Religious Affairs have issued nationally circular letter stating that there is imperative to implement distant learning methods as a strategic solutions to prevent the spread of the virus. And the use of technology is very helpful for lecturers because it does not only deliver the content, but also to construct knowledge and meaning. Technology is facilitator of quality educations. During the COVID-19 outbreak has given us a lesson that integrating information and communication technology in our instructional process. So here I have David Kaufman. David Kaufman is my supervisor during I took a PhD in Canada. He said that the marriage of computers with communication technology has provided a significant impact on developing and delivering learning materials in various instructional modes. The delivery modes of instruction in distant education have been changed from paper-based and correspondence study to web-based instruction and other kind of online learning program that leads those possibilities of virtual learning environment. The importance of technology in education also exposed by Muhammad Nasir. Mr. Muhammad Nasir is the Ministry of Higher Education and Research before, and currently on the Ministry of Education and Culture. Mas Nadima Karim also mentioned about the importance of technology to be integrated in our learning delivery. Teaching learning process in conventional way, face-to-face and classroom-based schema is no longer enough to fulfill our future development. So we must adopt and integrate technology in our teaching learning process. Online learning has been employed as the major learning delivery mode in distant higher education. So the adoption of distant higher education has been regulated in national education law and ministerial decree. You can see here, distant education comes in various form, including correspondent for the first time, and then multimedia or ICT-based online educations, And the Universitas Terbuka is the only single board distance teaching university in Indonesia. And other universities right now are allowed to conduct only dual mode, face-to-face and also online. Studying face-to-face universities or conventional universities can be allowed to conduct on dual mode with special. First, study program must be nationality accredited, at least B, from National Accreditation Board. And then a study program with accreditation can go nationally and internationally, and 50% of the course delivered in face-to-face by university itself, and other courses can be provided by other universities. So this is the current trend in our Indonesian educational setting. Universities are encouraged to offer learning or electronic learning study program. And Universitas Terbuka right now we are moving from distant higher education to cyber university. So referring to the Ministry of Education and Culture statement and concerning situation in Indonesia today, in this semester we can see that COVID-19 outbreak has pushed all universities moving forward from face-to-face sessions to hybrid or even fully online as their major learning delivery mode. According to my experience as an academic staff at UT, there are some different benefits by employing online learning program as one of the learning delivery modes. For example, here there are 3 benefits. First, increasing gross national participation rate. As you know that Indonesia currently gross student participation rate is only 35%, and Universitas student body currently is through and 1,200,000 students, and so this is a big number of students. By using online learning, also we could widening student-teacher interactions. Instruction available anytime, any place where there are students. So there are many in Indonesian students, not only in 34 provinces Indonesia, but also our students also spread out all over the world. There are currently 91 our students there are in 91 countries overseas. By implementing online learning or technology in our learning process, we could also promoting student engagement. So we can engage our student for 24 hours. This is the benefit by using fully online learning program or learning online delivery in our study program. Based on my practices, online learning in my institution has been considered as instructional deliveries through the use of the internet, facilitate my student ability to access learning materials, interact with the content, instructor or lectures, and other learners to obtain support during the learning process. In UT Online Learning Services, we develop synchronous and asynchronous platform to support student learning. For synchronous interaction, we use Microsoft Teams platform. And for asynchronous academic services, we use Moodle. There are many kind of learning management system. Besides Moodle, there are Desire to Learn, Edmodo, Blackboard, Kampus, etc. As a distant teaching university, we also invest our money for different learning support services, such as developing printed learning materials and also non-printed learning materials. We develop a self-instructional book, digital library, digital learning materials, OT courseware, and others. You can see here in our infrastructure for student services. We develop different kind of learning material using audio module and also radio streaming and also televisions program, and online learning delivery has been regarded as a major learning delivery mode. The important factor in successful integration of technology into education, there are some here. The integration of academic and sectoral planning with faculty development. So it is very important if we want to employ ICT in our learning program to engage with the faculty members. And secondly, high quality, ongoing, sustainable faculty development, excellent guidance in technology, pedagogy, institutional design that support learning, and access to appropriate tools and resources. Because we will, we involve technology, we want to make sure that our lecturers and our students have access to the internet, or they have a device for access, and also other resources. Faculty involvement that gives faculty reasonable ownership of choice, design, and the work environment to conduct hybrid or blended learning pedagogy. Demonstration of institutional commitment to the support of faculty who are taking difficult steps to engage technology and embrace innovation and change, including fair and progressive reward in incentive system and adequate available time for learning, experimentations, reflection, and relearning. And fifth, visionary transformational leadership shown by the top management level, by rector and vice rector. The integration of technology into institutional deliveries, we would like to mention here then, while the delivery modes of instruction seems to have evolved to include more advanced in technology, the primary purpose of higher education remains the need to deliver quality instruction for learners. So this is very important. This is not about integrating technology in our learning delivery, but also we have to take account about the end of the purpose of our educational program. The very important thing is about our students. It is not necessary for us to integrating in technology if our students do not have to access to the internet, or they don't have a device to get to the internet. The Indonesian researchers found that the innovation of online learning in developing countries such as Indonesia has proved a daunting task. I would like to, this is based on my research here. Because UT use distant higher education, there are many people living in remote area. We call it in 3T, terdepan, terluar, terpinggir, tertinggal. They do not have access to the internet. They don't have a device to get to the access to the internet. So it is very difficult, very daunting task. This is there are many factors they have to be considered for us before we involve ICT in our learning delivery. There are also some researchers, something like Consley and Campora, saying that careful planning and a systematic design approach are essential to make sure that the needs of the student are continuously being met in ever-changing environment. So this is three important factors that we have to be considered before we implementing ICT in our learning delivery and external process. The impact of COVID-19 outbreak on education in Indonesia. So a lesson learned from the COVID-19, we can see that there are a paradigm shift of instruction, moving forward from face-to-face session to virtual class for all-level schooling, not only in higher education, but also in elementary and secondary. There are also a new demand for synchronous tools. There are different kind of platform here. We can see Some here, something like Microsoft Team, Zoom meeting, Google Hangout, YouTube channel, etc. And also asynchronous learning platform. There are many, something like Moodle, Dissertation, etc. And another issue is about learning materials and credit earning. There are something like digital learning material, massive open online courses, open educational resources. UT also provide some resources here. Suaka UT, Open Learn Universal Buka. This is a lesson from COVID-19. Best practice, this is best practice during the COVID-19 in our university. So there are some issues. The first issue is about transforming instructional design. When the COVID-19 comes in our nations, so UT try to develop different kind of instructional process, including in there are no services, something like face-to-face tutorial during the COVID-19. We conduct two web tutorial berbasis web, and providing training for synchronous literacy skill for face-to-face tutor and students. As you know that in different area in sub-district actually, there are many students and also tutor in terms of internet literacy. Internet literacy is very, so I have to them how to use a synchronous learning platform for our tutor and students. Supporting student engagement and flexibility, strengthening partnership for providing internet access, especially with internet service provider, ESP, something like Telkom, Indosat, etc. Implementing different policies for student assessment. We use online proctoring, semi-online proctoring, and online examinations. Providing virtual knowledge sharing forum, KSF, UT for student and public audience about how to engage with online learning, electronic learning, virtual and digital learning ecosystem. Education has two main goals: to help people master master the skill and literacy, to help them build good character. Education should prepare students become critical creator in consumer of the information they encounter through a range of technologies. So, moreover, the usage of this technological tool rather inherently teach our students several important character traits. It is critical that today's students be critical thinkers, problem solvers, innovators, effective communicators, collaborators, and self-directed learner.
Jadi untuk area Surabaya, Jawa Timur dan sekitar, hati-hati ya.
Character education is very important. Character education is as the intentional and focused effort to help students understand and care about open core ethical values. So, according to the Ministry of Education and Culture, atau we call it Kemendikbud, three functions of character education are: first, building and multicultural nation life, building a nation civilization that is intelligent, as a noble culture, and is able to contribute to the development of human life, developing the basic potential to have a good heart, a good thought, and good behavior, as well as good examples. And third, building the attitude of a citizen who love peace, creative, independent, and able to live side by side with other nations in harmony. Slide. The character that is formed is believed and underlies some of the character traits that can be gained by using technological tools are: by getting familiar with technology, students earn more independence and begin to beyond big content knowledge and research skill. Students become resourceful. They should develop the ability to access and apply the information that at their fingertips. As with all forms of independent work, students develop accountability as they work on their individual program. So with self-paced program where content is dictated by the progress of the individual user, the learner have the develop a their work of their learning, and students learn how to problem solve. So by using and integrating technology in education, such as learning, processes of character building becomes more effective. ICT student trustworthiness, respect, diligence, responsibility, and courage. So this character is basic to be good future leader. This is my slide, and thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Applause everyone for the presentation from Ojat regarding the injection technology and communication into education and how to build character from it. What we can read between the line is that we need to be a self-managed leaders and a problem solvers and not the other way around. Thank you very much, Prof. Ojat, once again. Now we would like to welcome the third invited keynote speaker. It's Associate Professor Dr. Chokchai Yuen Yong. He is currently the Assistant Professor of Science Education at the Khon Kaen University, Thailand. Correct me if I spell it wrong, Dr. Chokchai. At the department, at the Faculty of Education, and his expertise include student learning in physics, science teaching based on constructivism, science teacher education, scientific literacy, and STEM education. So he is also expert in research. He is also welcoming research collaboration, consulting work, board committee positions he has held so far, and conference presentation opportunities, awards, qualification, and so on. So he has up to date published approximately 100 papers indexed in Scopus and 47 ISI Web of Science papers. There's quite a lot of academic articles, works, and professionalism here. Without further delay, we would like to welcome Associate Professor Dr. Chokchai Yuen Yong from Faculty of Education of Khon Kaen University, Thailand. Time and place is yours, please. Your time will be from now on until 11:40 a.m. Indonesian time, more or less, Professor. Thank you very much.
Hello? Hello, did you hear me?
Yes, I can hear and see you very clearly, Prof.
Okay. Let me. May I share my screen? Okay.
Yes, yes, of course, please.
I will share here.
Yeah, it's on display now.
Okay. You see my screen now? Okay. Okay. May I start now? I will start now. Okay. Did you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chokchai Yuen Yong from Khon Kaen University, Thailand. Once again, thank you for inviting me to join your conference. Today I will start. I will present about my idea and what I learned from I working on STEM education with my colleague and my student. Today I will present you the student soft skill and STEM education learning. So I'm going to say about we need to develop STEM soft skill for learning in STEM education. And I'll skip this one. Okay. I think we need to provide some idea, understanding about vision and needs of STEM education or STEM education. As we know, people raise issue about we need to provide STEM workforce, and the second one is 21st century skill competency that we need from this era. I learned from the partnership 21 what is the key feature of 21st century skill. You probably know from that literature. It consists of innovations and learning skill and information media and skill, life and career skill. You probably know from the literature review about that. And we need competency about solving problems in the real world and innovation and creativity. So the creativity is about the art. Art is related to culture, tradition, and many issues as a local issue. And another kind of thinking, inventive thinking. We need people to can understand the computer, think like the computer. So it is about computational thinking. So everything here is what we need for society for 5.0. So the STEM education is about practicing knowledge if we follow the needs and vision of STEM education. So it's not only content learning, so we need to practicing knowledge. So this is about the STEM education and what we need for next generation of society. As the US literature mentioned, a lot of situation in the USA is the STEM workforce is decreasing on person on STEM education on the STEM workforce. But I'm not sure in the Southeast Asian country that the same situation or not. For Thailand, we call not the real problem, but we have some small problem about that. And some because of the STEM workforce, we need some small STEM workforce. So in the curriculum, in the basic education, would like to support that also. So in the USA, they generate the next generation science standard. So this standard is not only the content standard, but it's provide the idea of practicing as an engineering practice. Okay, I probably not read all of that. Just show you what the movement in the world. And the innovation and creativity was provided also for around, I think, next 10 years ago or more than 10 years ago in Korea. We know this group of people. I think in Indonesia, the teenager probably know this lady. Like in Thailand, my daughter know this lady very well as this Blackpink, and this man is BTS. I learned from my daughter and my son about that. So and when I attend conference in Korea, they're very proud about the kind of art and creativity that they input in the world. So in Korea, they have innovation and creativity. The company like Samsung is a very good performance in the world for smartphone right now and many kind of electrical device from Samsung. So that what we learn from the STEM or STEAM education is quite important for lead the country. And this is from picture from Singapore. Singapore is another country that we should learn from them. Is they provide inventive thinking for students. So I think they can develop some perspective in their countries. And the important thing for this era is this critical thinking and problem solving, and because it provide some algorithm for solving problem. So I think it's not only that list that I list, but it's probably there are many soft skills that important for our student. So it's not only understand the content, but we need to apply some knowledge for solving problems. So the soft skill very important. This is just some list, but I believe that there are many soft skills that we need. So like in Thailand, in our culture, we eat the an egg. This one is an egg, and we eat some vegetable. I learned that in my country, they try to develop some business from the culture. So how can we produce the ant egg enough for human need? So they try to learn about science and life cycle of the ant, and how to send the product to consumer, and we can adapt. We can teach them to thinking. So the knowledge is not only single thing for them, for the thinking. And so why the STEM education important? Because STEM education not teach only the content. So we provide some significant content like science, mathematics, and we need some processes and practice from technology and engineering. From this picture, in fact, the content is not only science, mathematics. We probably have some more content important, and the process and practice is probably not only technology and engineering. Something like design thinking and some process, some technological process that can allow students to practice knowledge. So this is the idea of STEM education that I just lovely remind you here again. And so based on that nature of STEM education, the STEM and STEM education pedagogy is probably provide problem-based learning, project-based learning, problem-solving, inquiry, and engineering design process, design-based learning, design thinking, whatever that allows students to practice knowledge. And I learned from the literature from my colleague John Williams from Australia. He present me is quite important, significant idea for STEM education. So the teaching and learning in STEM education is we cannot imagine like a linear, because it is a solving problem. Sometimes we success, sometimes we are the reader on going to be success, but unfortunately we have some problem and we fail. So it's like the game ladder and snake. We go up and sometimes we can move down. We nearly to finish, but sometimes we move down and start again like that. So the STEM education student probably not only learn from the success as a solving problem, but sometimes they can learn from the failure, the fail situation. They can learn from that. This is quite important for classroom, because my student who teach STEM and STEAM education in the school, they're very worried about, oh, my student is not success. So I learn from this. It's not, we can learn from failure. And the teaching and learning STEM education is like to scaffold students to across the barrier. We need to move students to each stage of problem solving, and teacher is probably work their teacher role is like help students to move to each stage of problem solving. So we need to climbing up the barrier here like that. So it's quite student centered because student is not the same. So we need to think how can we help them climbing up the barrier. So the assessment of STEM education is not content standard. It is like the formative assessment. How can we support students to solving problems based on their ability? So we need the fluid skill or the soft skill. Here the fluid is like the liquid skill, soft skill is the same. What is the fluid skill? We need to contact with the crystallisis interaction and contact between crystallisis interaction and fluid interaction. The fluid interaction refer to ability, reason, and think flexible. So we flexible to be success. But the crystallisis interaction refer to accumulation of knowledge, fact, skill that acquired throughout life. It's like the content standard. Everyone, I mean, crystallized interaction is everyone need to have the same content. So the content standard is about crystallized interaction. The free skill we student need to improve during their solving problems. So here, fluid interaction is often defined as a global capacity to reason. So we can think global. I mean, we can solving problem for everyone, and so because the world is a different culture and different behaviors, but student can flexible to work with another people differently, and ability to learn new things. This is quite the same with global capacity and capacity to listen. So this think and listen for solving problem. STEM education and fluid skill. So the STEM education, we need to enhance students to improve their fluid or soft skill of liquid skill. Here I provide some significant list about problem solving for liquid skill. Students need to improve their fluid or soft skill in order to practice knowledge for solving problem. Some fluid and soft skill I'm list here. The first one is creativity and innovation. So this is some skill that we need when we solving problem. And the second one is critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration. And another one, information, media and technology skill, life and career skills. Life and career skills probably I need to clarify because it's quite a big term. It's flexibility and adaptability. This is about initiative and self-direction, and social and across cultural skill, productivity and accountability, leadership and responsibility. And I try to enhance my student and my colleague to teaching STEM and try to improve student through its skill. I probably show you some of my master degree student, Sopana research. Her research was to enhance grade 11 student competency on creativity and innovation in learning about designing LED light, science, STEM education. And STEM performance on designing LED light sign were interpreted for assessing their competence on creativity and innovation. So intervention of designing LED light sign STEM education was developed based on Thailand physics content standard about electric circuit. So we can link to the curriculum. Here is her intervention. She teaches 7 stages of STEM pedagogy that allow students to practice as engineering designing. So she starts from identification of social issue. We raise the issue like how can we choose the local attraction to promote the local district of Vieng Cao into a content geopark. So in the local issue, we have in my city we have content geoparks, and this issue is this local issue to ask students to be participate to support the district to do some creative. So how if we want to promote those plays to be interesting and attractive, how can we promote those plays? So this kind of question less in the classroom and the discussion how to do, and teacher probably narrow down to what we can do as a physics classroom. So with identification of potential solutions, student can design LED light sign to decorate building, restaurant, or place that make interesting and unique. So the teacher probably ask student what additional knowledge that do students need. So we move to need the another stage of teaching. This is needs for knowledge. So we provide them some technique and as knowledge. The YouTube work here about LED light and invent electric circuits. And we teach physics as an exercise on electric circuits. Some laboratory about electronic circuits is provided here also, and do some exercise as a physics problem. And then they get some idea, some knowledge, and some skill to practice. So another step is decision making. Students decide to design a lifestyle, decorate building, restaurant, or place in the community. And develop another stage is development of prototype and product stage. So students design a lifestyle model together with the idea comes from brainstorming. Students develop LED sign model. And we move to another stage, test and evaluation of state of the solution state. Students design the indicators of measure. I mean this student develop framework of testing, I think, and then they test their prototype. So on the way to develop their framework of testing, they can develop their justification that allow them to integrate many kind of knowledge from science, mathematics, sometimes from art as a framework of testing. And then they present their idea to their modeling via Facebook, and they get some comment to revise their prototypes. Okay, this is the what they do, and they try to assessing student creativity, innovative competency. When student practice their knowledge as apply knowledge and develop some skill on the process, we probably see their competency. So the framework of assessing student creative and innovative provide here. the creative and innovative competency consists of three components. So Sopana research, she tried to list the behavior that we probably can examine from the classroom. So the first one, think creativity, the behavior here, and second one, work creatively with author. So this is about develop, implement, communicate new idea, be open. And so the nature of behavior like this. So she need to provide some worksheet or some observe for student or even teacher based on this framework. And then she provides some scoring rubric based on this. And the third one is this implement innovation. Students probably act on creative idea to make tangible and useful contribution to the field in which innovation will occur. So I just give you some example here what we do for enhanced student soft skill or liquid skill. So the assessment is important issue for STEM education right now. So we try to arrive in the framework to the behavior and then scoring. Then, so this is just my idea from for to challenge you. I'm not sure I have time to present further about the finding for this research, but I just share the framework of how to enhance student competency on soft skill. Okay. This is I would like to share you today. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, thank you very much, Dr. Chokchai, for your insightful presentation. I think somebody is not muted. All right, thank you very much again for your presentation. Now we're going to proceed to the next part of discussion session. We will allow the participants to raise hands, but before that, let me first read the keynote speakers some questions from the chat rooms. So first from Ibu Dr. Yuni Roslaili, the question is directed to Professor Muhammad Fauzan bin Nur. The question is, what is your estimation regarding the social media? I mean, how much longer will it last? Is it like coronavirus or something, depending on some time limitation also? And then the question also aimed to Professor Fauzan regarding the fact that Indonesia and Malaysia have almost similarly have quite high user, around 8-9 hours for social media. And how can we cope with this problem, especially how to equip our students at elementary school not to watch unimportant stuff on the social media? And B, regarding the use of social media and its impact to the challenge and opportunity for the Muslim community in using social media, where do we start, Professor, to manage the use of social media to be more useful? And again, the same questions. I think the last part of the first session to Prof. Muhammad Fauzan from Haris Munandar. Thank you, Professor Fauzan. Now technology has become very important in our activity and life. How to educate everyone to choose the best. I think it's more like more or less the same, or very likely the same with the first question regarding how to use social media for better purposes. And from, I would like to stop there first. So 3 questions are directed to Professor Muhammad Fauzan. Please, maybe the first one from Ibu Yuni about how much longer will we cope with social media hype?
Okay.
Please,
Thank you.
Professor.
Terima kasih Pak Saiful, Saudara Saiful, jazakumullah khair. Saya mau jawab soalan yang akhir itu daripada Eka Putri, walaupun tidak dibaca oleh Saiful Akbar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's very important. The rest, I think I'm going to answer later. Eka Putri asked me if Islam is the perfect rahmatan alamin, why don't we apply Islam perfectly in our life? Especially in the education system, but always we refer to Western understanding. For example, Western education system based on liberalism, atheism, secularism. What's different is far from Islam, which is sourced from the Quran. This education system has different character, so that the output produce is different. Thank you very much. Okay. First, I have to admit that I'm the product of the Western education. I'm a graduate first degrees in United States, master in United States, PhD in United Kingdom of Wales, United Kingdom. But my tarbiyah or I have halakah, I have Islamic movement that can guide me from the high school to the S1, S2 dan S3 di UK. Ini very important. This is very important. And to say that we always refer to the West is wrong. During the golden age of civilization, the West referred to the Andalusia, to the Muslim world. Like I give you example, Al-Khwarizmi. They use Al-Khwarizmi, and from his name, they come up with the word algorithm. From his book, Al-Jabir, they come up with the word Algebra. Abbas ibn Firnas, the one that invented the flying machine, is not the Wright brothers. Ibn Sina, even his book now is still used in the modern medicine. Even some people say medicine is the root word come out from Median Ibn Sin, Medan, area or field of Ibn Sina. Some people say, but a lot of scholars, if you search on 1001 invention, there are Muslim scholars that contribute. That's why I give the example of California. What's wrong with that? It's the Muslim. It's not Islam. Islam is perfect. The Muslim, we the one that make that the problem we're having right now. That's why in our university, I hope in Ar-Raniry too, that we implement Islamic values together based on Quran Sunnah in the science and technology. We did not say that IT is not important, technology, engineering, science and technology like medical is not important. Yes, important because it belongs to Allah SWT. But we have to bring to Islamic values, yani recognize Allah SWT. How, whether this first question, whether this social media have time spent or time, yes, is here to stay. It's like COVID-19. They say COVID-19 cannot go away. COVID-19 is like other diseases, is here to stay, but how are we going to manage and cope up with it? So my answer to it, social media here to stay, how are we going to manage and also face the social media and put it in the right way? Then how to control, again, manage our social media. Of course, we cannot block them on YouTube. We have to provide the good content in YouTube. For example, the content based on values, Islamic values. So then our teenagers just cannot watch the bad content. And most important thing, that's why I introduced the term called hardware. Hardware is qalbun salim, yakni perisian hati. Perisian di dalam hati ni, the qalbu, qalbun salim. Now, qalbun salim is very important. The qalbun salim, the one that guide the peopleware. Peopleware is manusia insani manusia ataupun karakter building husnul khuluq peopleware itu yang ditentukan oleh iman, qalbun salim, yang menentukan husnul khuluq atau karakter building, dan peopleware ini, karakter building ini akan menentukan ataupun the one who going to ensure the right usage or the right development of computer hardware and software. So this is the first round. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Prof. What about the remaining 3 questions? I'm so sorry about the Eka Putri questions. I plan to have the first session of Q&A session, but Alhamdulillah, it's already been answered for Eka Putri. What about the other 3 from Ibu Yuni?
Yeah, Ibu Yuni said, asked whether how social media is going to last, but I said it's here to stay. Meaning that it's here to stay, like COVID-19. They cannot, the COVID-19 is not going to eliminate from our society. It's here to stay, but how are we going to manage and deal with it? So social media also have to stay. How to, the third question, how are you going to control the YouTube is using hardware. And number 4, how to come up with this the usage of good social media. We use Al-Farabi concept of Madani. First, we promote the knowledge, the truth, the truth, not the fake. Number 2, we promote the knowledge rather than entertainment. Third one, we promote the happiness, not the sadness. Number 4, we promote good deeds, yani amal soleh. So I think I answer all 4 questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. The next question, I think, is aimed to all the keynote speakers. First, from Ibu Yuni again. May we know, is there any valid data regarding the effect of technology on the progress of education in Indonesia? I think this will be specifically directed to Prof. Ojad. And maybe if we would like to comment, Dr. Chokchai as well can give some insights on this matter. And last, the second last is a question from Ida Mulyawati. So among so many disadvantages of using social media, for any keynote speaker, can you probably share, for example, about the problem of learning through Zoom meeting. There are so many disadvantages, but we have to do that in this time. So what is your comment for any keynote speakers? And last, to Profesor Ojad, bagaimana model pembelajaran integrasi dengan karakter yang komplit mulai dari evaluasi sampai platform online? So there are 2 questions for Prof. Ojad and 1 question from Dr. Chokchai. Then, but I would like to also give some more time to Dr. Chokchai to again revisit the idea of how to assess our learning and teaching process during the pandemic with online learning. So thank you very much. We would like to start with Professor Ojad.
Okay.
And then Dr. Chokchai.
Okay, thank you, Brother Saiful Akmal, and also thank you for the questions. The first question, talking about the effect of technology in educations. As I have already mentioned in my slide, that there are at least 3 or 2 benefits by using or integrating technology in education. As you know that currently, because they are moving to there are many institutions in Indonesia and also around the world moving from face-to-face to online learning. By using or by integrating technology in learning delivery, we can widening access. For example, in our case in Indonesia, UT has the major mission to provide equal access to education, to higher education for Indonesian people. So we can provide distance education, we can provide online learning to all people around 34 provinces in Indonesia. So by using technology, we can widen access to participants, to students. So that's why currently UT have a big number of student body, almost 350,000 students. And another benefits by integrating technology in education, also we can increase student engagement. Increasing student engagement is very important in student learning process. Not just like in face-to-face tutorial, in face-to-face session. Maybe the process of instruction just only when lecturer meet with the students in the certain building, in certain classroom, and in the certain times. But using technology, we can engage our student for 24 hours, you know, maybe in the morning and etc. So this is the benefit. But also there are problem. So for example, just the second question about the problem involving integrating technology in education. For example, using Zoom meeting. There are many problems in our country, in Indonesia as developing country. There are many people living in remote area do not have access to Zoom meeting. First, this is about infrastructure. Infrastructure is a big issue in developing countries. For example, in my university in UT Indonesia, maybe about 60% our students living in remote area, in remote island. They do not have access to the infrastructure. There are no internet access. They do not have device. This is a problem. And also another issue about ICT literacy. ICT literacy also is a big issue. This is a problem in using technology in learning delivery. And the third question, bagaimana pembelajaran online dilakukan dari mulai persiapan sampai dengan evaluasi? Ya, when we talk about, saya dalam bahasa Indonesia supaya nanti dipahami oleh pertanyaan yang ketiga juga, karena bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia. Banyak orang yang meragukan bahwa pembelajaran tentang karakter tidak mungkin dilaksanakan dengan menggunakan online learning. Padahal sebenarnya itu juga sangat memungkinkan dan itu banyak dilakukan. Bukan hanya di perguruan tinggi di Indonesia, tapi misalkan seperti di Wawasan Open University di Malaysia, gitu kan, di OUM yang pertama OUM berdiri tahun 2000 gitu ya. Terus di Sukota Tamatirat, di UPUU, banyak. Jadi pembelajaran karakter gitu kan, dari mulai persiapan pembelajaran sampai dengan evaluasi banyak lakukan dengan pemberian contoh-contoh dan non-contoh melalui video yang kita lakukan, video-video yang kita buat untuk memperkuat learning material yang ada yang kita berikan dalam modul tersebut. Kita tunjukkan isi contoh dan non-contoh tentang pendidikan karakter. Nah, di situ juga kita menanamkan tentang masalah disiplin, masalah kejujuran dan sebagainya. Dalam pendidikan jarak jauh kita melaksanakan seperti kegiatan misalnya pengenalan kampus, OSMB, atau juga tentang distance learning skill workshop atau workshop keterampilan belajar jarak jauh, di mana mahasiswa oleh kita diberi arahan bagaimana cara belajar di jarak jauh, jurus-jurusnya. Kita juga berikan assignment workshop bagaimana supaya mahasiswa jujur pada dirinya sendiri, tidak cheating saat ujian gitu kan, tidak mengerjakan pekerjaan tugasnya kepada orang lain gitu ya, dan sebagainya. Itu dilatih oleh kita, kejujuran seperti itu penting. Nanti sebelum ujiannya ada exam klinik. Di dalam exam ini juga oleh kita dilatih mahasiswa supaya tahu tentang aturan atau ketentuan tentang ujian akhir semester. Mereka harus well informed dengan ketentuan tersebut. Mereka kita ajari supaya mereka tidak cheating pada satu AS. Dan kita siapkan juga mereka. Jadi dalam ujian itu bukan hanya aturannya saja yang diperbaiki, tetapi juga mahasiswanya harus diedukasi supaya mereka siap ikut ujian. Nah, ujian karakter gitu kan di dalam secara online, dengan melihat contoh video yang kita meminta mereka untuk mengomentari gitu kan berbagai hal yang terkait dengan video yang mereka lihat. atau juga dengan bermain peran dan sebagainya. Jadi banyak yang dapat kita lakukan untuk menumbuhkan pelajaran terkait dengan masalah sikap, karakter. Jadi bukan hanya knowledge saja, tetapi juga untuk aspek-aspek yang lainnya. Jadi ada knowledge, ada ada sikap, dan ada psikomotor. Semuanya bisa kita lakukan. Bahkan di New Zealand itu pelaksanaan politeknik di Politeknik New Zealand itu menggunakan jarak jauh. Dan program-program animasi, apalagi sekarang dengan berkembangnya virtual reality, augmented reality, XR dan sebagainya, itu sudah memungkinkan mengintegrasikan contoh-contoh yang dibutuhkan ke dalam suatu device atau platform yang bisa digunakan untuk pembelajaran fungsional tersebut. Seperti misalnya kemarin saya mendapat kesan yang sangat positif ketika Bapak Dirjen dari kementerian gitu kan bersama dengan para rektor beberapa perguruan tinggi datang ke New Zealand, bagaimana di sana diperagakan contoh orang membuat pesawat gitu kan, membuat tentang membedah pasien, operasi bedah, itu bisa dilakukan. Jadi banyak hal yang bisa kita lakukan untuk melengkapi pembelajaran tatap muka. Nah, dalam konteks inilah kita jangan merasa bahwa tatap muka lah yang paling hebat atau online learning yang paling hebat, tapi itu adalah complementary, saling melengkapi untuk perbaikan atau untuk menyempurnakan learning pedagogy. Ambil yang sisi positifnya dan gunakan untuk kepentingan kita. Saya kira seperti halnya juga Pak Menteri menyampaikan, Mas Nadiem menyampaikan, kalau kemajuan yang dicapai dalam bidang teknologi ini di dalam pembelajaran bisa dilakukan, mengintegrasikan teknologi, pasti itu akan lebih baik hasilnya. Saya kira itu saja untuk pertanyaan yang nomor 3. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak Prof. Terima kasih Pak Prof atas responnya. Sekarang kita menuju keynote speaker, the third keynote speaker, Dr. Chokchai. You still have around 15 minutes to answer.
Yep. Mention about assessment, assessment online learning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is very good question here. I think to start assessment online learning, teacher need to change paradigm on assessment. The traditional way of assessment paradigm is about try to assess what kind of knowledge student understanding, remember. So the test is like the teacher probably worry about student probably can put their understanding on the test, like a paper test. So when we apply to the online learning, we try to provide many kind of technology. The online assessment right now he's work on the computer, and we need to provide some camera beside on student. So the old paradigm is make us to really have some problem on online assessment. Why we need to do like that in the online? If we change to assessment, like, okay, we would like to examine them, what is their, how can we help them to improve? I'm going to talking about can we change to the formative assessment. So if we change the paradigm to the formative assessment, we no need to do the same behavior that we try to do on the assessment. So and another thing is this people online behavior, we need to consider about that. I'm not expert in the online, I'm physics teacher, but I'm learned from the COVID-19 periods now 2 years, and I learned that we need to change we need to learn also what the behavior of people online. So it's people is quite online is quite flexible, so we can learn from our home. Some people, some students lay down on their sofa or on their chair. We probably we don't know exactly what they how to say focus on the mobile phone or the laptop all the time or not. So the learning is quite flexible all day. So we need to provide some worksheet or some YouTube video online, like the feedback learning, and the formative is provided in that teaching material also. And teacher should relax that okay, student probably reflect their idea sometime, and then teacher need to reflect the idea to allow them to enhance and improve their ability. So the criteria or the grading is will change from to as an objectivist idea. I mean, the grading is just for to tell what they can do and how can improve. So my idea is if we change the paradigm of assessment to be formative or enhance people to learning rather than the enhance students to remember some knowledge. And if we try to remember some knowledge, the testing is about something that try to examine what students remember, and no help from other people. Okay. So if we change the paradigm already, we can use any platform like Google Classroom or Google Form. It work well. Just some platform to support us to reflect each other. Is enough. No need to do some difficult platform. I learned from many kind of the test platform is quite complicated right now, because we try to serve our idea of traditional way of assessment. So the platform for the examination is probably very complicated and many things to try to do on that. But I just answer from my idea that I'm not expert in the technology, but I be the part of online already 2 years because of the COVID-19. So I learned that we need to change the paradigm of assessment, and then any platform can help us to support and understand student learning. That is my idea. I hope this help and helpful for everyone over there. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Chokchai, for your insight on how to change our paradigm to do the online assessment and so on. Sometimes, things went very quickly and we did not have time to react. Then it's already like this. In the disruptive era, society 5.0, like Professor Muhammad said earlier. So I think we are almost at the end of the session. I don't know, it seems to me that on my chat room, as far as I can see, there are no more questions regarding our first session today of the international conference. But I would like to give every keynote speaker to have a concluding remark before we leave. So maybe each of you could have a say to conclude our presentation and discussion today. Is a very fruitful one. Maybe each of you will have 5 minutes or more or less for the concluding remarks. Let's start with Dr. Chokchai first, maybe.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think we lucky that we have COVID-19 for this time because we learn a lot how to change our education. I think this is the chance to improve our education now. It's time to change the paradigm, as I mentioned before. It's time to change our behavior and everything. And the learning, the teaching approach will change forever from now on. And I think it is lucky to have this situation. It's increasing us to improve ourselves. So I hope everyone fight together and learning together. Yep, this is my idea from Society 5.0. Yep.
Great, wonderful, Dr. Chokchai. Prof. Ojat, silakan. Mangga, Prof.
Thank you. So, we learn from the COVID-19 pandemic. So I invite all educators, including all brother and sister in Ar-Raniry, to increase and enhance our knowledge in terms of how to integrate the development of ICT in our learning delivery process. So, starting by now, so it is important for us how to create our new learning delivery model in our student learning process by integrating ICT in terms of synchronous and asynchronous interaction for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ojat. Now, last but not least, Prof. Muhammad Fauzan Binuddin. Please take your time for concluding remarks.
Terima kasih, Saudara Saiful. I want to conclude that our science and technology is very important, but they are not the one that dictate or transform our society. We, the human being, the character, the husnul khuluq, the akhlak yang baik ini, kita manusia, the human being that based on Al-Quran and Sunnah should transform science and technology. Because it has been done before by our great scholars like Al-Khawarizmi, Ibn Sina, Abbas Ibn Firnas, and so on. So we can transform science technology. In a way, we should lead the science technology for better society. I don't want to call 5.0, later on people call 6.0 or 7.0 or society 10. But I want to call it is a Madani society or my term wisdom society. Yani the society based on hikmah. Masyarakat berdasarkan hikmah. Yani bila mau hikmah itu kena ada hidayah for Allah Taala. We need hikmah, we need hidayah for Allah Taala. So this is not just knowledge, because if you look at the data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, data that has been processed become information, information has value, become knowledge. The highest knowledge is wisdom, yani hikmah. So wisdom society is the one that we're going to focus on, inshallah. If we have wisdom society, wisdom workers, we're going to closer to Allah SWT. This is our ultimate goal. Besides, not ignoring science and technology. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Muhammad, for your remarks. Now, that marks the end of our first session of the second Aesthetic International Conference 2021. I would like to again extend my warmest thanks to all three distinguished invited keynote speakers who have been joining us and enlighten us from 10 o'clock onwards until now. And we would like to also thanks everyone who participated in this session, including the committee and also the rector, the vice chancellor, and also the dean, Dr. Muslim Razali, and all the vice dean, Dr. Nur Khalis, Dr. Masbur, and Dr. Shahminan, as well as all the steering committee and organizing committee under the direction of Dr. Muammar. Thank you very much once again for making this happen. It is such a pleasure for me to joining this conference. I would like to apologize should I made some inconvenience remarks or something. And by saying Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, this first session of International Conference ESTETIC 2021 is now officially over. Then I would like to hand this back to Ms. Mira Maisura at the ICT room. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All the best. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Much, Mr. Saiful Akmal, for leading the first session. So we are now that, as it mentioned before, that we are doing everything virtually. So we will give the three of the keynote speaker their certificate of appreciation for being here with us today. But all the certificate will be shared in the screen. So the first one is for Mr. Muhammad Fauzan Nunurdin. The certificate itself will be sent later on through the email, but this is just for official ceremony. Okay, the first one is the first one is for Professor Dr. Sorry, which one? This is.
Yes.
Professor Muhammad Fauzan Nurdin from IIUM Malaysia. We are sorry, there's technical meeting, like we share different name on the screen. Okay, but it doesn't shows in the screen here actually.
Pak Muhammad aja, kami sudah boleh live.
Kita aja dengar.
Oh, sure. Okay, so probably there's some technical meeting, a technical problem in the ICT room now. But all the certificate will be shared later on through the email to all three speakers and moderators.
Can you switch on the mic?
Yes, Prof.
Moderator?
Now, can you hear me clearly than before?
I think you unmute.
No.
Mic.
Just a second. Mungkin mau pakai ini kali. Ini berarti matiin.
Moderator, kita sudah boleh live.
Ya.
Apanya?
Ya boleh.
Prof. Ojat, bisa kedengaran suara saya?
Ya, loud and clear now.
Baik, Prof. Terima kasih sebelumnya untuk ketiga pembicara kita hari ini, ada Prof. Fauzan, Prof. Ojat, dan Mr. Chuk Chai Yong Yun. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrongly. Thank you for being here, and as I mentioned before, I'm sorry about the technical problem, that the certificate will be sent through email later on. Thank you so much from the committee. Hope to see you again in another opportunity. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For all the participants, kepada semua peserta acara hari ini, kita pembagian sertifikat itu silakan isikan absensi dulu di bagian chat, kolom chat itu ada 2 file. Yep. Oh, ada satu Google Form yang bisa diisi untuk absensi. Kemudian kita akan melanjutkan ke sesi berikutnya nanti di jam 2 dengan pembicara dari Prof. Asna dan Prof. Roslina I'm sorry about that I mentioned wrong name. Ada Prof dari Brunei juga, kemudian ada Prof Asna yang sedang berada di Amerika Serikat saat ini. Jadi untuk teman-teman semuanya yang ingin bergabung, dipersilakan bergabung kembali di link yang sama jam 2 nanti. Sedangkan untuk sertifikat itu akan dibagikan, link sertifikat akan dibagikan menjelang akhir sesi kedua nantinya. Jadi kami harap Bapak Ibu sekalian, teman-teman sekalian bisa kembali berhadir di link Zoom pada pukul 2 nanti. Terima kasih semuanya atas partisipasinya hari ini. Insya Allah ketemu lagi di jam 2. Terima kasih Prof semuanya sudah meluangkan waktu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Prof Uzam, Prof Ojat.
Tadi Bapak di
semuanya.
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Thank you for the insightful info from the keynote speaker. See you later. Assalamualaikum.
See you from
Assalamualaikum semua.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you Prof.
Ya. Jumpa lagi.
Ya Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Terus